Hey there, Kyle here with another episode of Grumpy Young Man. It's been a minute since I recorded one of these because I've had a lot of stuff going on in my personal life, like having a baby, etc. So my apologies there, but I am going to try to get back to this. Normal episodes will drop on Saturdays, but want to get back to it now because I can. I just saw an article that ticks me off because it's presented as news when it shouldn't be news. It's not even logical. Okay, and I've seen this on a couple places, but this is the third time that I saw something to this effect. Parks and Recreation fans are freaking out over a crazy secret moment in the series finale. Basically, TikTok has an audio of "Don't be suspicious," right, from John Ralphio and his sister Mona Lisa, who's played by Jenny Slate. Ben Schwartz plays John Ralphio, and or Gene Ralphio, whatever. And no, it is. It's John. It's John Ralphio. Anywho, they do this little "Don't be suspicious" dance. My daughters love it, and that's a sound effect in TikTok that has almost a million uses of it in there, and apparently Parks and Recreation fans are just now realizing that that is from their show. If you're a fan of the show, you're not just now realizing that. First off, this is not news. So stop treating it like it's news. Secondly, don't call these people fans if they're just now realizing that a catchphrase or significant part of a character and the series finale, rap for that character is being used. All right, that's like saying that Lord of the Rings fans are just now realizing that references to Second Breakfast are from Lord of the Rings. No. Every fan of Lord of the Rings knows what Second Breakfast is referencing. They know what potatoes are referencing. They know all these things. The only one I might give you leeway on for Lord of the Rings is a Tom Bombadil reference. Okay? But the fact is that if you're a fan of something, which is short for fanatic, right? That's the root for it, fanatic. If you're a fan of something, I'm not going to say that you know every minute detail, but you know catchphrases. You know these kind of significant events and things. So no fan of Parks and Recreation is just now figuring out that "Don't be suspicious" on TikTok is from Parks and Recreation. So one, don't make all these things that shouldn't be news like they're big news. Okay, does not need to be news. This is not entertainment news. This kind of thing, and this kind of headline doesn't even make sense. So that's what I'm ticked off about. Things that shouldn't be news being news, but that's always been the case, right? There's always been things that shouldn't be news being news. What's really irking me is the misuse of the word fans here. Okay, if somebody is a fan of something, they know it. I'm not going to say they know every single detail, but they know the important parts, or the significant parts, or the landmark parts, or the parts that stand out. They at least know those. And they should know a lot more than that if they're a fan. That's why I say I'm not a fan of Harry Potter. I like Harry Potter. I enjoy it. I've seen all the movies. I have listened to much of the audiobook. Have read one of the books, the first book. Saw the very first movie in theaters even. I enjoy a lot of Harry Potter things, and I can make many references to it, but I am not a fan. It's not something that I know the trivia of. It's not something that I chase, that I pursue, that I think about or dwell on. It's not something that if somebody's like, okay, Kyle, you need to pick between Star Wars, superheroes, and Harry Potter, I'm not picking Harry Potter, right? That one's not even a question. But that's just me personally. So if somebody's a fan of something, they're not just now figuring out after a year or more of its usage in some other pop culture, being referenced to some other pop culture facet that is being used. So, anyways, sorry for a little rambling there, but I'm frustrated. I'm annoyed. I think it's stupid. I think people are taking these little things where somebody goes like, "Oh, Yeah, I liked that show. I didn't know that catchphrase was from that show. Okay, that person's not a fan. They just liked the show. You can like things without being fans. We live in a world that where only extremes are allowed. Either you love something or you hate something. Either you're a fan or you think it's stupid. That's not the case. Okay, those are different ends of spectrums. People can be anywhere on that spectrum. So, do I believe that people who watched Parks and Rec and thought it was a good show are just now realizing, or may just now be realizing, that don't be suspicious from Parks and Recreation? Sure, yeah, I think so. Because the last season was the least watched season because of the way it aired and everything. So there was a lot of people who watched all the rest of Parks and Rec that didn't see the last season, or saw the last season later, or may not have paid as much attention to it. And especially if you are binging shows on a platform like Netflix later, it will blur together more, and you will know it less than when it has to drag out. People who watch a show as it's airing, one episode at a time, have more time to think about it than the people that binge it in a few weeks or a couple months, because those first group of people spent years on it. And that's fine. I'm not knocking anybody for that, but I'm saying that there's a difference between thinking something was a good show and being a fan. We don't need that kind of worthless hyperbole and elevation of statuses. I'm Kyle Souza. This is Grumpy Young Man. My blog is thetalkinggeek.com. Please rate, review, subscribe. Thank you.